From the 1011 Now streaming studio, this is The Night Beat.
Sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Lincoln.
Good evening, I'm Danielle Shenk with your headlines for Monday, September 22nd. The Lancaster County Sheriff's Office says a man is still on the run after a drug bust Friday along I-80 near Greenwood. Deputies pulled over a car and two men ran away. Nearly 40 pounds of meth worth about $2 million and a handgun were found in the vehicle. One suspect, Norberto Martinez, was arrested and arraigned with his bond set at $500,000. Deputies believe the men were transporting the drugs from Denver to Omaha. From a major drug bust to a troubling case closer to home, Lincoln police say 24-year-old Brandon Young, a mental health facility worker, is accused of sexually assaulting a 17-year-old. The incident allegedly happened April 23rd after Young took the teen shopping and then parked in an alley near Hope Spoke. He was arrested Friday on multiple charges, including suspicion of sexual abuse by a school worker. Young was placed on leave and is being held at the Lancaster County Jail. And in York, a man accused of stalking two young girls and possessing child pornography has been sentenced. 66-year-old Norstad Bergeson will serve 7 years in prison, followed by 18 months of supervised release. He was originally charged with 19 felony counts, but pleaded down to 2 counts of intentional child abuse and 1 count of attempted possession of child porn. Police say Bergeson lured the girls, both under 11, with messages, trips, and clothing. A search of his home found swimsuits with their names, photos, and child porn. Following another sentencing, a Lincoln man was handed prison time for setting a vacant home and a golf course shed on fire earlier this year. 36-year-old Corey Cram pleaded no contest to 2 counts of second-degree arson, burglary, and possession of a destructive device. He was sentenced to 26 to 31 years in prison. Police say Cram started a fire at a vacant home near Northwest 56 and West Holdred Streets, causing $350,000 in damage, and another at a Newmark golf course in January, causing over $1 million in damage. Nebraska State Auditor Mike Foley is comparing a former part-time state employee to Bigfoot, saying his appearances at work were rumored but rarely verified. His report alleges fraud by the executive director of the Abstractors Board of Examiners, a small state agency overseeing real estate title filings. The employee, who also worked another job in Omaha, allegedly lied about his hours, reporting the same schedule to both employers about 65% of the time. Foley says the employee padded his state pay by more than $20,000.
There was one stretch there where he claimed he worked 140 days, 7 days a week, continuously, without a break, 8 hours a day. That's just ridiculous. He was not doing that. His computer log shows that he clearly was not working those hours.
The report also alleges misuse of the private company's credit card for over $26,000 in personal expenses, and that the director collected unemployment benefits while still employed by the state. Now, today is the federal deadline for Nebraska to provide voter registration data. Civic Nebraska says a letter to Secretary of State Bob Evnen requested information including addresses, driver's license numbers, and the last 4 digits of Social Security numbers. The federal government says the data is needed to maintain an accurate voter registration list. The Secretary of State's Public Information Officer says a lawsuit has been filed to block the disclosure and that no information has been released. Lastly, the 2026 election may still be a ways off, but campaign season is already heating up for Nebraska candidates. 2 U.S. Senate hopefuls spent the day kicking off their campaigns. First, we caught up with Senator Pete Ricketts, who has held his seat since 2023 and previously served as Nebraska governor.
I'm taking the same stuff we did in Nebraska and bringing it to Washington, D.C. so we can benefit not just Nebraskans, but all Americans. So we're going to be out talking about what we're doing in Washington, D.C. to be able to make people's lives more affordable, to be able to keep our communities safe, provide more housing, all the things that are going to impact people's lives.
During his tenure, Ricketts has served alongside Deb Fischer, and his campaign has been endorsed by both Governor Jim Pillen and former President Donald Trump. He has also been vocal in his criticism of his opponent, Dan Osborne. And speaking of the independent candidate, he held a rally at the Labor Union just south of 14th and Old Cheney Road tonight.
I don't look at my world and see left versus right anymore. I think we're past that. I think this has to be now about big versus little. And Pete Ricketts is for big pharma, big insurance, big railroads, big everything. And I come again from the shop floor. I want to represent the everyday person.
Osborne narrowly lost a race against Nebraska's other Senator Deb Fischer last November. Rounding out your night beat is a check of the 7-day forecast.
You've been listening to The Night Beat.
Sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Lincoln.
Watch, listen, and stream on the 1011 app on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.